everyone, and thank you for tuning in to Wowhead Weekly number 39. We have a lot of stuff to talk about today. Obviously, we got the big news of flying being implemented in, well, not right in 6.2, but soon after 6.2, along with a whole mess of other PTR stuff. So, without further ado, let's get right into today's video. I would like to introduce my lovely co-host, Wowhead Site Manager Perkulia.
Hey everyone, we have a very busy, awesome week today. We have even a few surprises to share with you that we're really very excited about. So let's talk about flying and our surprise, and I'll do this while also doing the PTR.
Poor Perk, they put up a new PTR build as soon as we started streaming, so she's multitasking. Yep. Well, first and foremost, I would like to say I spread a false rumor. It was an accident. I didn't know, and I'm very sorry. But a couple weeks ago, I said that I heard, which, I mean, it's true. I did hear that there was going to be a Warcraft movie trailer before Jurassic World, but they got me. They duped me. Not true. Confirmed by Duncan Jones on Twitter. No Warcraft movie trailer on Jurassic World, but it should be coming soon. I can't wait. Hopefully, maybe E3. Who knows? Who knows, E3 or maybe BlizzCon. I don't know, I'm so excited. Anyways, moving forward with things that are not rumored and are actually confirmed. We do have the Q&A happening tomorrow live at twitch.tv/wowhead. It will be Lore interviewing Ian Hazakostas, and he'll be relaying all questions from Twitter and the World of Warcraft forums. It'll be on the topics of 6.2, lessons learned in Warlords of Draenor, general World of Warcraft questions, and that will be at 2 p.m. Pacific time. And then immediately following the Q&A, Perk and I will be doing like a post Q&A analysis and discussion, and maybe we can help tie up any ends that didn't end up getting tied.
Yeah, reference some of the guides that we've done on different topics if people want to learn more, maybe if we're talking about Tanan or flying or things that they already covered in blue tweets that they didn't cover in the Q&A, we can, I'll make sense of that and do some analysis. And we will also be live blogging the Q&A as it goes on, so you can follow along and get a pretty good summary of what's being said in case you, miss some of it or you're not around on the weekend.
Yeah. So that should be pretty fun. And we also got our notice this week that the end of Season 1 is coming. It was announced this week, and the PTR build is currently flagged for release. Now, what does that mean, Perk?
It means that they've moved on to refining some parts of it. So you can't do things like copy characters over. It's certainly in a more refined state, and usually that happens like 2 or 3 weeks before it tends to go live. So this doesn't mean that it's set in stone and the PTR is coming tomorrow, and if there's a bug on the PTR, it's never going to get fixed. It just means that it's, it's like, instead of like a final draft state versus a rough draft state.
They're in the polished state.
Yeah.
They are in the polished state. So it's looking like the patch will probably be either the 23rd or the 30th, and that's speculation. This is just our guesses. Blizzard did put out a blog this week talking about time walking being an upcoming holiday event, and it did initially say the 26th, and then that was redacted. So I'm not sure if maybe having all the stuff to add for flying maybe push things back a little. I don't care. I'll wait a week. It's fine.
Yeah, another comment on the PTR, they were like, time walking might be coming soonish, but the PTR has a very different calendar.
Yeah.
Plus, there's some questions I have on the PTR, such as there's some parts of the Shipyard that you can't really test right now, and some other things. So it would be good if there was a little bit of testing to see how that all fits together.
When I was filming stuff for the Tanan guide, I noticed that when I was building my shipyard and stuff, there was this weird thing that I'd have to like reload my screen. Like I'd go and I'd build my ship, and then the ship wouldn't appear, and then but my oil would disappear, and then I'd have to like rebuild it and rebuild it and rebuild it. And if you did like /reload, it fixed it. So even though it's on a release build, it's still not 100% ready yet, but it's getting there, and I'm really excited. And messing around on the PTR, you see a lot of the fun stuff that is to come, and Tanan looks super cool. I'm just really, really excited about it. I get excited for every new patch. It's like Christmas or something. It's like Christmas for nerds.
Yeah, and just jumping with the patch, the new patch came in, and it does in fact have the Draenor Pathfinder achievement.
Oh, that's the one that just came in now?
Yeah, and it has account-wide progress.
The progress of the achievement is account-wide, so you can get some parts on some characters and some parts on other. I did not. I thought they were going to make that on one character. That's cool.
Yeah, so that's there. The 100 Treasures of Draenor is there. Tanan treasures do not count. And there's also the Tanan Diplomat achievement, which is earn revered reputation with the 3 factions in Tanan Jungle. And I'm now going to post and share this on Wowhead, and I'll just drop a link in.
Well, while you're doing that, I'll flip over and I'll talk a little bit more about the Draenor Pathfinder achievement. So, of course, we got a bunch of news from Blizzard this week that after hearing everyone's feedback and after going through all that kind of stuff, they did a lot of like internal discussion and decided that there was a good compromise for allowing flying in Draenor. And I think what they decided on is really fair for all parties involved. The achievement that you'll have to get to unlock flying in Draenor is called Draenor Pathfinder, and like Perk said, it is account-wide progress, meaning you can do parts of the achievement on some characters, parts of the achievement on other characters, and it'll count towards the bigger achievement. And that also means that once flying is implemented, all of your characters 90 or higher will be able to fly in Draenor, which is super nice if you're leveling like me. I would be on like my 4th, 5th alt. You will be able to fly while leveling alt, pending you have this achievement. Now, the achievement right now is going to require that you explore Draenor, which includes Frostfire Ridge, Gorgrond, Nagrand, Shadowmoon Valley, Spires of Iraq, and Talador. And it's funny because I've done all of that, but then randomly I was missing like one little spot in Spires of Iraq, so I had to run down and get it. You'll also have to collect 100 treasures in Draenor, like Perk said, and Tanan treasures do not count, so it'll have to be, I guess, Old World Draenor. You'll also have to complete the Lore Master Draenor achievements, which is for doing all of the main story quests for your faction in Draenor. You will have to get the Securing Draenor achievements, which is to do all of the different Apexis Assault dailies. I think there's 6 in total. And then you're also going to have to hit Revered with the 3 new Tanan reps, which is the Saber Stalkers, the Order of the Awakened, and then depending if you're Hoarder Alliance, Hand of the Prophet, or Vol'jin's Headhunters. Now, what's super cool about this is that Wowhead does everything so quickly that the very day that this was announced, they pumped out this tool, and that's at wowhead.com/flying, where you can insert all of your character information, and it'll bring it up and tell you what you need to do in order to get flying when it becomes available. And I made a little video so that you could see what that looks like. It's super easy. I'm all logged in and everything, and I just selected my realm, and then I typed in my character name, and then you just hit the little red button, bam, load, and it brings it up, and it tells you what parts of the achievement you're done with, what parts of the achievement you still need to do. I have admittedly not done many of the Apexis daily crystal quests because I raid with a guild and I haven't really needed the gear that way, so I do have to catch up on those. But what's nice is that they are kind of spammable now. You can do the dailies, or you can actually purchase them for garrison resources if you need to do specific quests, so you could theoretically get them all out of the way in one day if you wanted to. And the treasures are pretty easy to catch up on, and pretty much everything that you see or that you've heard me talk about today as far as the Flying in Draenor achievement, Wowhead has guides for all of it. So if you need to explore stuff, Wowhead has guides for that, or if you need to find the treasures, or if you need to any of it. There's guides for all of the things.
I'm back a little bit now.
Oh, you're back now. Did I do good? Did I do good filling time?
Yeah, I just wanted, writing the guide, I wanted to get that up really quickly and offer some tips for people. So a lot of people have been asking me, how long will Revere take with these reputations? And I try to give estimates in my guide. It'll probably take maybe 2 to 3 weeks, but do keep in mind that you cannot fly right when 6.2 goes live.
Yeah.
So if you rush to do it now, flying will be added in, a minor patch later.
Yeah, it'll be like 6.2 point something. So it's not coming out 6.3. It'll be sometime in the progress of 6.2. We just don't know exactly when yet. But you should have enough time to get all the achievements out of the way before it happens.
And we also have links to things like the Profiler is really good for Lore Master of Draenor, because if you look up your character in Wowhead's Profiler, it will tell you which quest you have to do and which you've already completed. You can sort by continent and zone, and you can even set it up so you can see your character's progress as you browse individual quests or lists of quests on Wowhead. You'll see a little, checkbox on the quickbacks being like, hey, you've completed it on this character. So yeah, I'm really proud of, the Wowhead team, the developer who got the flying tool out so quickly, Auroras, and, just really happy that we have so many great guides.
I couldn't believe how quick you got the tool out. That was insane. It was like they had the blog post out and Perk was like messaging me like 6 hours later and was like, the tool's almost done. It's like, do you sleep ever?
Yeah.
And one of the things that we didn't mention about the Draenor Pathfinder achievement is that you will also be rewarded with the Soaring Sky Terror mount for completing it, which they didn't say what it was, but I think it's a Rylac. What do you think?
I think it is. Maybe we will get a model in of it. I'm scanning the post again. It's in the model. It's in the post that we got today.
Oh, cool.
So it's now in the data. So it could be up in the Mount Journal. We'll see when the PTR comes back up.
Gotcha. I think it's gonna be a Rylak. Just there's been a lot of Rylak stuff going on, and I think that'd be cool.
Yeah.
And there's also there's like just the one that you can buy from the store right now, right?
Yeah, the Iron Sky Terror.
Yeah. So and he's a Sky. Wow. Well, now I feel silly for speculating. It's definitely a Rylak. But anyways, if you would like to check out the flying tool for yourself, you can do so at wowhead.com/flying. And what's super cool about this is that Senpai Blizzard, sent me a big old box of the Art of World of Warcraft books. They retail for like $50 a piece, and they sent me 10 of them to give away to you guys. So I thought would be really fun is tomorrow when we post this VOD on Saturday on Wowhead, we're going to have a contest up. So if you go to wowhead.com/flying and you use it and you get your character link, and then you go back to the VOD and you post your link in the comments, you will be automatically entered to win one of those art books. So, and they're all sealed and brand new and new book smell. Who doesn't love new book smell? And we'll have full details for that contest tomorrow in the Wowhead post with the VOD of this stream.
Yeah, it's also really neat how you can link the tool to others, which the contest encourages you to do, because you can say, hey, I have to still do this achievement. Do you need this? Let's quest or do this daily together. So, yeah.
It's actually, I love the tool. It was super nice because I used the tool as soon as it went up, and then I immediately got on to start to work on treasures because I only had 79 of the 100 that I needed. And when I got on, all of my guildies were all over Draenor, getting random exploration
awesome.
quests.
That's so
because I posted the tool on our guild website, and everybody used it, and everybody was all excited and logging on to get the pieces and parts that they needed, and people are grouping up to do a Pexis daily quest, and it's crazy because they didn't really add anything new to the game, but just the incentive of this reward.
Yeah, everyone getting out of their garrison. We've spoken about that before.
Yeah, is getting people out and giving them incentive to go out and do things. So it's kind of like a double win situation, because not only, you're seeing oh wow, I didn't finish this quest line here, or I didn't get all these treasures here, and it's kind of neat to have that eye-opening experience, but not just oh, look at this content that I missed, but also getting oh, I'm gonna be able to fly, I'm doing this for such a cool reward.
Yeah.
So
it's making you experience all the content that they wanted you to see on the ground, and then you've earned the flying once you've exhausted all of the options. You've gotten the treasures, you've done your jumping games, you've seen all the quests, you're fighting the mobs instead of skipping over them at a really tense moment in a quest line. So I know when the debate was going on, I wrote a blog post talking about wanting to get people to go out of the garrison, as well as maybe this would be a nice compromise if people could do lore master or loot treasures to get it. So I think that this is really cool, and they sort of exceeded my expectations with having a variety of cool things they can do. And I also like the Tanan factions because it's not grindy. There's some dailies you can do. Yeah. There's you can grind some if you want, but mostly it's just a little daily quest grind, as opposed to feeling that you have to just sit in an area and kill mobs for hours straight until you hit your beard and then you're done. Yeah. So I like the Tanan ones better.
And the Tanan ones are nice too, because there's a bunch of different ways that you can get rep in Tanan. There's obviously your dailies, but you can also there's these 4 guys, they're rares that are called Champions of Hellfire, and you can kill each of them once a day, and they have a chance to drop an item that'll give you 1,000 rep with all Draenor factions, which includes the new Tanan factions as well. So there's a lot of incentive there to not just do your mandatory dailies, but to go out and kill these rares. And I don't know, I'm pretty excited. I've been on the PTR a lot in the past 3-4 days, and I'm really happy with the things that I'm seeing to come.
Yeah, it reminds me a little bit of the Timeless Isle, but there were parts I loved on the Timeless Isle and other parts I thought were not so good, and it seems to have taken the best parts of the Timeless Isle and kept those, and then improved on some of the parts that people didn't like, sort of the grindy aspect or everything looking the same.
Yeah. Well, and it's nice too because the Timeless Isle only had the 1 rep on it, so you'd see people gulp frogs, for instance. Gulp frogs were terrible. You'd go there, there'd be 100 people farming gulp frogs, and there was always that one jerk warlock who'd run around and dot all of them for his group. And because there's multiple factions, I don't think you're gonna run into those grinding issues as much. Part of the way that you can get rep for the Saber Stalkers, for instance, is by killing the Saber Stalker elite Saberon guys, but I don't think everybody in all of the Tanan jungle is going to be working on that at one time, because there's so many other things to do.
Right, and you can even do a weekly quest for them. There's daily daily quest for them. You can
Yeah.
summon mobs in an arena, and you're encouraged to do the weekly because if you get the weekly done, you get an Pexus
bonus.
crystal box.
Yeah, bonus.
So that's
bonuses.
better than just killing mobs.
The world boss looks super cool too. Supreme Lord Kazik.
Yeah.
He's enormous. I was just like derping around, minding my own business, like not paying very good attention to what I was doing, and I look up and there's this massive like dude standing in front of me, all drooly and whatnot, and I was just like, I'm gonna back away slowly. He looks cool, and he dropped 695 epics, so there's a lot of cool stuff coming. I'm excited.
And as well as Fellblight. We didn't really cover him before, but yeah, just Kazakh, 695 loot, 10 to 15 Fellblight, which is really good because
That's a lot, yeah.
You can't get Fellblight from your garrison, and you mainly get it by herbalism, mining, skinning, and fishing in Tanan. So if you don't really love gathering professions, you want to be killing Kazakh to at least get some of them.
Yeah, absolutely. And if you guys are interested, we just did a whole guide on Tanan. You might like see it just casually around.
More on that later.
Just more on that later. But aside from all of the flying stuff that's going on, there was some other stuff going on this week with Blizzard. There was some Transmog Sets that were previewed. You want to talk a little about that, Perk?
Yeah. So Blizzard, right after flying, sort of daring decision, they posted a blog on Transmog Sets, all the Tier 18 and Warlock Season 2 Transmog Sets. Now, we've talked about the new gear before. We've done armor and weapon previews, but just to recap, you have normal, heroic, and conquest sets looking the same, just with different recolors, and then the mythic and elite conquest sets are variations on that have more elaborate details. So this is more Burning Crusade style, where the PvE and PvE and PvP gear have the same appearances, and it's not like Mists of Pandaria where, top tier raiders and top tier PvPers look completely different. And because Blizzard had posted their blog, we decided it would be good to mention that Wowhead's Transmog Set database is fully updated for 6.2 as well. All the new sets can be found if you go to ptr.wowhead.com, go to the Transmog Set option, and then you sort by styles like, Tier 18 or Garrison Sets. Pretty much just look for all the new sets in the database. And we recently added a feature where you can change the appearance of the character that's previewing the gear, so you can change the gender and the race to see how it better fits, a character that more resembles you. And just a few more things on Transmog Sets. Not mentioned in the blog, but we wanted to point out that other cool sets are some Archimon Transmog gear. There are 3 pieces.
Transmog stick, yeah.
Yeah, they're so cool. They're the waist, a helm, and shoulders. And there's also some interesting old school items with Tanan Jungle rares, which we've been covering in all of our Tanan Jungle coverage. And a really cool Tanan item is the Fell Touch goggles, which are a super fun transmog piece. They are cosmetic and resemble engineering goggles, but you don't need engineering to use them.
Yeah, and I don't think there's very many engineering goggles even that allow you. Usually they're like leather or mail, right?
Yeah.
So, and they're like green goggles. They're super cool, and you can use them no matter what. So if you have a cool set that's green. And they're really easy to get to. I showed it in our video. It's just a treasure that's on the ground, so it's pretty cool. We also got some more information about the Shipyard this week because Blizzard released a preview, correct?
Yeah.
Yeah, and I mean we've been messing around in the Shipyard a bit on 6.2, and Wowhead's had quite a bit of information on it for a while. The Shipyard will be a mandatory feature for you to access Tanan, but that sounds really harsh. It only takes about 20 minutes to do the quests in the Shipyard that lead you to access Tanan. And I'm not a super fast quester either, and I think it took me like 24 minutes or something like that. So don't be intimidated.
It takes resources, but it's something like 150 garrisons.
Yeah, it's not bad at all. It shouldn't be bad. It's definitely meant to be like have a level 3 garrison or have a right? Like you have to have a level 3 garrison. Yeah, that's more of the prerequisite than the questing or the garrison resources. So you do a quick quest that'll take you to like the Iron Docks, and then when you come back, you'll build your shipyard, and then the first ship that you build, you actually take to Tanan.
Exactly.
So, and there are 5 types of different ships. There's destroyers, submarines, carriers, battleships, and transport ships. And kind of like Garrison followers, different ships counter different types of threats. And there's also things that you can add to your ships, like trained sharks.
Yeah.
And stuff like that. So, and you can also use your heirloom missions to get things like heirloom rings, which right now I think the only one in the game is from...
the fishing.
Yeah, the fishing. So, pretty cool. Anything else that I probably missed some stuff.
It's okay. Yeah.
I'm still thinking about flying. I'm sorry.
Yeah, I can. Let's see. Yeah, so I mean, you just to fill in some other cool naval mission rewards are the heirloom rings, but there's also the left shark battle pet.
How could I forget?
Yeah, that is awesome. And while not heirlooms, there's a lot of BOA bind on account I level 650 gear tokens, which turn into loot appropriate for your loot specialization. And there's also the Hellfire Citadel loot caches. So if you want to do missions to get raid gear, you don't get the highest level gear from the follower missions now. You have to build a shipyard for Hellfire Citadel. The followers do not, you cannot send your followers out to get the Hellfire.
Yeah, that raid gear. I'm excited.
Yeah, I think it's pretty good. There's still some cool follower missions in 6.2,
yeah,
but they definitely want you to check it out. Yeah.
So it's not like Garrison followers will be obsolete because of the shipyard. They'll work together, not against each other.
Weird mechanic that I definitely want to emphasize when I put the guide live is the blockade missions. The UI looks very different than the follower layout. Basically, it's a map, and you see these threats on the map, and you click on it. You click on a threat, and you go on the mission. But there are these blockades which block you from completing all the missions in a certain quadrant. So you can see the missions sort of hidden behind the mist, but you can't actually do them, and then you have to defeat this blockade, and then it frees up space.
Except so it like shows the fog of war, kind of?
Yeah, and it, like the blockade returns every week or so.
Interesting.
So it's, and they're sort of more challenging than other missions, so there's a risk that you could lose your ships along the way, and you might want to mix up your ships now and then. It's not just the same blockade mission every week. It's not just a one-time challenge. It kind of keeps it interesting.
Yeah, I thought when you do your initial shipyard quest to like get into Tanan, the very first shipyard quest that you do, when you get to Tanan and you end up going back to your garrison eventually, it'll give you a quest to send a ship out on a mission, and it's only like 91 or 92%, and you fail. Like your ship gets destroyed, and I thought it was just me, and then it was funny because the flavor test,
tough love.
Yeah, the flavor test the text is like, it's a trap. It was a trap. They baited us in, and I laughed so hard because I love the way that Blizzard like showed you like, this is a thing. You can lose your ships. Yeah. You should know this. But they kind of like throw you in the deep end of the pool, because if you aren't expecting it, like you have this 92% mission, you think you're smooth sailing, and you're quite literally
that sinking. Is really devious. I love that. But yeah, I know people are alarmed that you could lose your ships. It's really easy to build ships again. There's no level 90 to 100 leveling. Yeah. There's no eye levels. It's just uncommon, rare, epic. Ships take like an hour to build and like a really small amount of oil and garrison resources. So it's not really bad. Plus you can only have like 5 or so at a time, so you don't have to like min-max and put them to inactive, but you can rename them.
Yeah, so that's important to know.
Yeah.
There are items that you can equip to your ship that will protect them. Like if you're super attached to a ship, you can actually attach like indestructible to it, which means that even if you fail the mission, it won't be blown up. But I don't think there's a situation where it's really super important to do that. I guess unless you have a ship that you named something hilarious and you're emotionally attached. What else is going on? The Darkmoon Faire is going until this Sunday, so you have a couple more days.
I'm a sec again, posting items.
Okay. The Darkmoon Faire is live through this Sunday, and we did get some more additions to the Darkmoon Faire race. We got the big Powermonger Gold, which obviously is for using the Powermonger mount, and this rewards the Darkmoon Cannon, which is a toy that shoots you out of a cannon and lets you fly for a minute, which is kind of awesome. There's also the Powermonger Gold for using not the big Powermonger, but the regular Powermonger that rewards the gaze of the Darkmoon toy, which puts a Darkmoon Faire marker over someone's head. And the Powermonger mount vehicle thing has 4 abilities. It's got a jump 2 power up, which jumps to a power up and grants immunity to hazards for 4 seconds. It's got a battery which stores the next power up gained for 4 seconds so that you can use it later. It has overwrite, which changes a nearby power up into your stored power up, and it's got summon aggrobots, which summons little robots that will be little minions for you that will taunt nearby mini zeps. And we do have racing videos on Wowhead if you're interested in checking those out. If you previously missed the Darkmoon Faire, you can get heirlooms from the Darkmoon Faire. You can get a bunch of toys. There's a carousel music rule the music roll. If you have a jukebox in your garrison that you're working on, there's also a bunch of battle pets. There's a couple mounts. There's all sorts of stuff that you can get from the Darkmoon Faire. And there is more cool stuff coming in patch 6.2, like the highly anticipated Hogs pet, which is like a little mini hogger, and that's for getting the achievement for the Whack-A-Knoll game. There is also a recipe that will give you like a really cool kind of like steampunk Gilneas disguise. And there's a toy that makes a whistle noise, which everybody's going to get and be really trolly about. I can see it already. And if Perk's ready, are you ready, Perk? Oh my gosh. I
posted the items. I got the Soaring Sky Terror up.
Okay, we've been really excited to talk about this the whole video, but you say it. You say it.
Okay. So we are really thrilled and honored to have one of our videos featured in the BattleNet launcher. You just open it up right now, and we are there.
Yeah.
It's the Tanaan Jungle Tour.
Yep.
And it covers everything about Tanaan, so the mounts, the rare spawns, the pets, you know, all the different cool climates and NPCs. And we're just really super excited to be here because we've been doing this a while. Like, you know, this is just so exciting that we're in, like, everyone is seeing this there.
Yeah, and we worked really hard on the video to make sure that we didn't, like, put our own real Perk, because, like, we're pretty positive. I feel like Perk and I both look at the glass being half full and the bright side of things, but we tried really hard not to, like, you know, put our own personal opinions into the video. It's very factual. It's very, you know, here's this area, this is what it looks like, this is what you'll find here, here's a map of where all the treasures and toys and battle pets and stuff. So it's something that we're really proud of, and we worked really hard on it to try to have it be a very polished product, and it's really exciting for us. We're super excited about it.
It was real. I mean, we're very excited that we could do a video that was so in-depth on a major feature in the new patch, and we had a lot of fun, you know, farming all the toys or making sure our rare spawn was up, or, you know, unexpected things would happen as we were filming the video. Some toys didn't work as expected, but there were so many cool things that we found and testing things out, and I enjoyed it.
My favorite thing is that Perk and I would, like, go into, like, this really remote area, and we'd be like, okay, now do the toy, and out of nowhere, some guy would just go right in between us with, like, a Traveler's Tundra Mammoth. Like, we had to refilm a couple things because of, like, random people, like, getting in the shot, or several times we went to kill a rare, and then it wasn't there, and we're like, what do we do now?
Yeah, my favorite was, I was using the I was like, oh, I have this reputation item, and I can teleport to this rare spawn. I'll position myself, I'll use the item, and you can see me jump through a rare spawn. Except the item teleported me really far away on top of a cliff.
And it was so funny,
like, where are you?
Because we got up on top of this area and, like, pointed the camera down. I'm like, there's the rare. I see the rare. He's in my thing. All right, on the count of 3, use your teleport. You're going to appear in front of me. It's going to be so great. And we were like, 3, 2, 1. And then Perk was nowhere to be seen, and she just dies laughing. She's like, I'm across the map.
Yeah. So. But yeah, there were so many cool things. I really like discovering that the skeleton disguise, which sort of looks like an undead, actually has an orc dance. It was so cool seeing the skeleton orc dance, and you can see that on the video.
Yeah, that's so cool. I'm not sure that I had a long enough time to put it in our Tanaan guide, but I'll upload that separately because that's worth seeing. I'll make sure I upload that to Wowhead, because we were seeing what different animations things had, and, you know, the orc pirate, he's undead, so we just assumed he'd have, like, the head-banging metal dance, and all of a sudden he starts doing MC Hammers Can't Touch This, and Perk and I just, like, died laughing because I've not seen anything like that in World of Warcraft before. I didn't realize it was an actual orc skeleton and it had orc animations, and I thought that was really clever.
Yeah, because if you're in Nagran, he has the same name, but he's an orc.
Yeah, he's an orc. And
not undead. He has better teams then.
So I thought that was a super interesting little touch that they added. But thank you so much to Blizzard for allowing us to make a video that would be featured in that way. We're really excited and honored to be a part of it.
Yeah, I sort of have no words. I'm just, like, very excited and just honored. And it's, you know, it's one of those things looking back where, you know, I'm playing in Classic and Burning Crusade and rambling guides here and there and thinking it'd be so cool if I could, you know, do this full time and get recognized and have, you know, people read these guides and be able to share my interests with so many people. And I've been doing Wowhead for about 4 years or so, but it just sort of caught up to me when I saw the video that was made in the launcher. I mean, like, wow, like, that's just so awesome.
That's the thing. Senpai noticed us. So I hope that you guys do enjoy that video, and if you do, leave us a nice comment. I mean, you could leave us a mean comment if you want. A comment is a comment, am I right? But so we're really excited, and I do, before we wrap up this video, I do want to remind everybody that if you enjoy Wowhead and if you enjoy our streams, you can subscribe to Wowhead Premium, which will remove all of the ads and give you some special perks on Wowhead. You can also subscribe to us on Twitch, and you'll get really cute little emoticons that you can use, which are a little Pepe and a little rocket, and it's nice because if you time it right, you can put Pepe on like Kappa's head, and it's the greatest thing. And we appreciate everybody who subscribes and follows us here on Twitch. We stream every Friday around 6 p.m. Eastern time, and then we upload the VODs like very early Saturday morning, usually around 3 or 4.
Yeah.
Because I don't sleep normal hours at all. You're going to E3 next week, right?
Yeah, very last minute thing, but I'm planning that out. Yeah.
I wonder if there's going to be anything Blizzard there. I wonder if they're going to have any information about the movie, or,
yeah,
you know, there's all the new Hearthstone stuff coming out.
Yeah, I mean, I will definitely be covering stuff. Like I said, it's very last minute, so I'm still, I got my flights like yesterday or something.
Yeah, crazy.
We'll yeah.
Oh, that was what we needed to say too, is because Perk will be at E3 next week, we will not have a live show next week, but we will have an extended live show the following week where we're going to do a lot of extra Q&A and stuff with the patch coming up. So, we won't be here next week, but we will be resuming the following week. So those are all the things. That's all the things, right? Let's see. Does anybody have any questions in the chat that you guys want to ask us about maybe 6.2?
I saw a few people asking me what I did. So I'm the site director for Wowhead. So I write a lot of the news you see on the front page. I decide what sort of guides we want. I write a lot of the guides. I find all the data bugs. I take in new features. I test everything. So I do a lot of stuff. You know, I do the show, but I also do a lot of behind-the-scenes technical data.
Oh, yeah, this is not, I mean, this is barely part of her job. Like, her job, she does so much. It's crazy. Like, you're awake 24 hours a day. It's insane. Because Perk will work with people in Europe and stuff, because sometimes EU will get things a little sooner or a little later. So she's always trying to keep Wowhead, like, up to date on the most current information without, like, being overly speculative. It's all very like, this is in the data, we have information that can support these claims that we're making, and it's the amount of work that you do is it's just obscene. Like, I think you might be a robot. I don't think you're human. But she does a lot. This is like only a very small portion of what she does. She does this for fun, basically.
Yeah, no, it's really cool. When I started off, we didn't really have a front page on the site. It just was a database. So I think it's cool to, interact with people more and sort of explain some of the, weird parts of the job, and, implement things that people are asking for, and answer feedback directly, and have a more human touch to the site. So.
I think that's one of the coolest things is I've actually seen people like leave suggestions in like our Twitch chat, and then within a week, if it's a good suggestion, like one of the things was you were talking about, someone said, oh, it would be so cool if you could customize the sidebar, and that's one of the now features. If you're a Wowhead Premium subscriber to the site, you can customize your sidebar, and like I saw someone in chat say that, and it was like not even a week, and Perk was on it. So it's cool that you guys have a front, well, I guess I could kind of say we, but it's cool that there's a front page on Wowhead that allows people to really interact that way, and it's got a super cool community too, like a lot of stuff. Like if you have a really cool screenshot of a mount, like you can submit your screenshot on that mount's page for everybody to see who's looking for that mount too, which I think is a really neat feature.
Yeah. And it's just really nice. Like, a lot of people message me on Twitter, or they'll tell me, news I should find, or hey, we found a cool treasure on the PTR, you should find this and put it in your article. And, I get so many great suggestions from Twitter, both news-wise and also little features we could add to help, other people do their community work or theory crafting research, or, just help their lives be easier.
Yeah, I agree.
If anyone, I know people have been asking me some flying questions over the past few days, so if anyone has any tool-related questions, let me know. Just to reiterate, Wowhead was showing 200 treasures on the flying Draenor tool because there was no 100 treasure achievement, but now that there is one in the data, when 6.2 goes live, we can tweak the tool to not have the 201 showing.
The tool is super cool. I couldn't believe how easy it was to use. I was expecting I don't know what I was expecting. I was expecting more than one step, but it's legitimately one step. It's put in your name, click the button, bam, done. So.
Yeah, that's actually a bunch of people were asking me. They're like, "Hey, you guys track all this stuff. Can we just see something really easily for flying in one place?" So I'm like, "Hey, we could probably do this."
Yeah, and it was well done. I think it was really, really well done. Somebody asked, wouldn't you not be able to access Tanan if you didn't have a garrison? No, I don't think you'd be able to access Tanan without a garrison.
There's actually a little bit of weirdness where you can enter Tanan through Talador on the PTR, and I'm not sure if that's like a bug for testing or not, but you cannot access a lot of things. Like, you can't get your faction hub, your reputations, your Apexis crystals, like the gear vendors, your daily quest for oil, your flight paths. So I'll have to do more testing, but there may be a way you can get into Tanan, for Hellfire Citadel.
How do you not have a garrison?
I don't know. But
Real
you
question.
might not be able to do all like the really essential bits of Tanan if you don't care about your shipyard or the garrison.
Yeah. How do you not have a garrison? I'm so confused. Someone says that right now also on the PTR you can use Aviatin's Feather to get to Tanan. And I think it might be like you say, even if you can actually physically access Tanan, you can get into it. Like, you're not going to be able to use its features to their fullest extent.
Yeah, for example, the Garrison Campaign, there's a new Garrison Campaign in Tanan, and different little bits unlock, very small areas of the zone. It's not major, but that's another thing you can't do. You can't get certain followers that have rewards. You can't get treasures or battle pets that are in these locked areas. Yeah. And there's some really cool things that you can get. So there's just a lot of things. There's a really cool Of the Jungle title, and that requires you doing a lot of things that you need your faction hub for, and that's tied to the Garrison Campaign. I should also mention that to go along with the video, I wrote a written guide to everything in Tanan Jungle in 6.2, and that's linked in the description of the video. So if you want to learn more about something, or get a Wowhead link to a topic, definitely check that out in the video description, as well as a super awesome rares and treasure guide that
it's so
really
good.
Prolific Wowhead users wrote it. It's so amazing.
It's so good. It is so good. I abused that guide when we were making the Tanan video. It's so cool because it literally is like all the treasures, all the rares, and you can just sort by like what you want, and then go up and look on the map, and it'll just be pinged, and then there'll be a little piece of information that's like pinged is the cave entrance, or you know what I mean, so that you can really it's very good. It's
if
very
any of you
impressively
were
good.
using Wowhead for the bigger bag achievement, and you noticed that comment that had something like 800 upvotes, it's the same guy who wrote the rares and treasure guides. So high quality, has a good reputation for owning topics about all sorts of cool vanity items.
Yeah, so this says, were there any new armor sets that came out today? Well, if there were, Perk hasn't seen them yet because she's literally been here.
Yeah.
So if they updated any of the armor, she wouldn't have.
Yeah, the PTR just came up, and the Soaring Sky Terror is actually in the Mount Journal, and it's kind of got a reddish-yellow look to it, so that's pretty cool, and I'll get a picture up of that in the PTR article and share it, so...
It's a Rylac?
Yeah, it's
Called
got
it.
2 heads. It looks pretty cool. Yeah, I mean, it doesn't have the rockets like the Iron Horde one, but, sometimes I don't want the
That's
Iron Horde.
okay. It's funny. I find myself really liking the mounts that don't have armor on them. Like, one of my favorite mounts in the game, mount models in the game, is I really love the non-epic Night Elf model mounts. Like, the tigers that don't have, like, the weird collar, and, like, that's so cool. Like, I want to ride a tiger. That would be awesome.
Yeah, I wish I got the very old
Savage
school mounts
Compact.
before they were removed, back in vanilla.
Mm-hmm.
I just like the Night Elf mounts in general, because I play, all my characters are Night Elves. But yeah, there's just something simple and just sort of feels very realistic. Like, if my character's not going into battle, she'll just use this sort of unarmored mount casually, just to, do her daily errands and chill, and not scare her friends with some big armor spikes on her mount.
I really like the Raptors too that trolls have, that just have a saddle and no like feathers and armor. I don't know. I like those mounts a lot, so I'm a big fan. Big fan. But we are going to wrap it up. I have a movie to catch. It's very important. You guys understand. Just to remind you guys one more time, you can subscribe to us on Twitch. You can subscribe to Wowhead Premium at wowhead.com. If you're watching this on YouTube, you can subscribe to our YouTube channel. It is free. And we are going to go. I hope you guys have a great weekend.
Yeah.
And I hope that you
enjoy us in the launcher.
Enjoy us in the launcher. Oh, so exciting. I'm so excited, Perk. We're going to go. You guys have a great day.
Yeah.